Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and today I'm visiting somewhere I've never been, which I'm very excited to come to, and that is the Jardin Botanique Val Rahmeh at Menton. I believe this would have been a large private villa at some stage, and the gentleman set up large gardens here, and even before we go in there's kiwi fruits hanging on plants. They're quite small, so I think they're probably Jenny. Already some unusual plants growing here. Here's a huge avocado, there's a tamarillo there, and a huge avocado tree with avocados on it. Most likely a hass. I think we're going to have plenty to take pictures of and video in here today. Everybody wants some instant bamboo canes. Look at that bamboo there. I believe it's well known for citrus here as well. Looks like it's going to be a fascinating garden to walk around, we shall see. It's obviously set on terraces on the hillside. As I said before we get in, lots of brugmansias there. Looks like some kind of ficus, I would imagine, but I'm not sure. And you have to pay for this one, it's not free. Entrée payante. I think it's about €7, but we will find out in a minute. I'm hoping most of the interesting plants will actually be labelled here. Got a monstera growing up that tree there. Swiss cheese plant, Monstera deliciosa, I think. And this is another type of philodendron. It's well up the tree, and he's got flowers, I think, up the top as well. There's plenty of monsteras here, and there's definitely flowers on that one through there, which means fruit coming soon. Never tried a monstera fruit. Looking a bit run down, the house up here. Obviously wasn't too poverty stricken though, the chap who built this originally. I think there's free areas you can walk to as well. Right, let's check the price. It's a nice succulent display. I'll stop the camera. So we're in now, and they give you a guide book and a numbered guide. This house would have been magnificent in its day, obviously. I think it's numbered 1 to 21, the areas on the terraces. So it should be relatively easy to find my way around. I don't know if this goes anywhere or not. straight outside into the brugmansias. I'm glad everything's labelled here. It's going to make life a lot easier for me. I'm certainly not going to be filming everything. Petria. Shrimp plants, Beloperone. See how mild it is here because I've even got frangipanis. And Pachypodium. Obviously I'm not going to film anything because the video tour would go on for hours, but I will stop and start as I see interesting things. Let's walk across the, see if we can walk across the grass. Let's have a quick look at the scenery where we are. Fascinating looking plant that is. Seed pods perhaps of some type of brugmansia. Don't know. Oh yes, those dark purple flowers, dark purple leaves. Might be a datura. I think that's a hibiscus, yep. That's the type that they use in the Caribbean, so that grows here okay. Hibiscus saptorifer, and there are the flowers. Can't grow it in the UK, just doesn't like it without a greenhouse. They've got loads of these, I think they're daturas because the flowers face upwards. No, from purple to this sort of cream and purple flower, amazing. I think I'm going to be eaten alive by mosquitoes up here today, unfortunately. First bananas, Peter, if you're watching this tour when I put it out. And that is Bananier de Sage. Doesn't say it's Muse Bajus, so I presume it's another one. There's another brugmansia here in pink. Just to show you quickly, probably some form of hibiscus. Lots of bird of paradise flowers. And on this corner, first from a distance I thought it was an avocado, but it's not, it's a Schefflera of some sort, or whatever the current Latin name is for them. I'm going to pause the video now so that I can have a look at the map and plan and see where everything is. They do actually have a guided tour here, but it's a French one that you listen to, so I'm afraid I'm going to make do with trying to recognise plants myself over helicopters, or fruitlets or seed pods on there, and just pick out the plants. Okay, unbelievably, this is a giant kumquats here. Must be the biggest kumquat I've ever seen. Fortunella margarita swingle, it says. Kumquat ovale. So that's the oval kumquat. Look at the size of this plant. It is covered in fruits as well, not surprisingly. Stem's incredible. I think there's going to be some very, very interesting plants here. Fortunately, it is we are numbered here, so does at least give me an idea. Wow. Okay. Would you want to have a guess what this is? Fantastic. Obviously a tamarillo of some sort. Absolutely covered in fruits, nowhere near ripe yet. Fantastic. There's a label, Salamandra betacea, or betacea, I'm not sure how they pronounce it. It is covered in fruit, so someone's going to have a nice harvest in about 2 months' time. Keep your eyes out here because there could be all sorts of very interesting plants tucked away that you might not recognise at first look. And it takes you up to the higher areas. Ah, okay. For the citrus fans. Rather substantial citrus. One assumes it's a normal grapefruit. Let's see if there's a label round here for it. Citrus. Pamplemousse, which as far as I'm concerned was what the French always used to call grapefruit. Now they seem to use the word pomelo as well, which is confusing. And tucked away behind there's a coffee plant, or some kind of coffee. Coffea mauritiana, covered in berries. Obviously likes the shady position. And in the citrus here, and that one is a lemon. I don't know if you can see, but it's got substantial lemons on it. They obviously like this slightly shady position behind the house. Don't know what sort of lemon it is, but the grapefruit is covered. Okay, let's pause the video, carry on with the next section. Okay, so if you want an idea of just how mild this area of France could be, or can be if you're so inclined, growing outside here we have a member of the cocoa family, Theobroma cacao. It's actually growing in a pot. Now whether or not that means they might consider taking it inside into the greenhouses in winter, that I don't know, because I notice they've got greenhouses here, but at the moment it's outside and looking perfectly happy. Perhaps it's not something that would be best risked left outside. Heading towards section number 5, and see I'm going to get plenty of exercise on these walks up and down slopes today. Don't know if you're allowed to go in the greenhouses here, we will see. More brugmansias, white flowered one. Pittosporum, of course, that grows everywhere down here. Wow, look at these growing outside. Aristolochias, Dutchman's pipe. I did not expect to see these flowering outside here. Amazing. I've seen them flowering in the greenhouses in Kew, but certainly not seen them outside. Look at the size of those flowers, quite incredible. Yeah, the greenhouses are closed. They obviously just use them for nursing sick plants and seedlings, I assume, or at least that greenhouse is closed. It's nice that they give you a toured direction to go. A variegated Brugmansia. Caesalpinia, I've got one of those in my garden. I think mine's doing better than that one, to be honest. Not everything grows here well. You can tell it's a Caesalpinia from the leaves. I've got no, not peonies, don't know what they are coming into flower. Another member of the Surinam family, don't recognise it at all. Certainly plenty of bromeliads growing in the trees here. That's actually an olive tree up there. The one next to it is some kind of Pittosporum undulatum. Vicious spines on whatever that is. The beautiful flowers on that. Can't quite see the label from here, so I can't tell you what it is. But it's certainly got pretty flowers. It's another leguminous type plant, I think, 'cause it's got pods on it. I've no idea what that is. Right, let's pause the video again. Obviously talking about the famous olive trees in the area. This one's apparently 400 years, about less than 400 years old, 'cause that's when the gardens were formed. But of course olives, they say that they can live to be 3,000 years, but I don't know how you prove that. Various aloes here. Have a quick look at this little succulent garden here before we carry on. And cacti, obviously I've got them on this nice dry hillside, so it's perfect for them. You can see just how old some of the olive trees here are. And here on the right is my first pineapple guava of the garden. Annona, Orphijoa, plenty of fruits on it. I wouldn't say they're any larger than the fruits on mine, to be honest, looking at them, but it has got a good quantity. Yeah, probably surprisingly about the same size as the fruits on my one, but it has got loads. It's quite a substantial tree. You can see how long that's been growing here. Sadly, they won't be ready for at least another month or so. This tree here is a member of the pistachio family. Pistachio chinensis bungi, I think it's pronounced. It's got those typical pistachio leaves. Of course, quite a lot of the pistachios do not produce edible nuts. I've no idea if this is one of the ones that produces edible nuts. It certainly hasn't got any on it, so there's no way of knowing for sure. But it's a very attractive looking tree, and of course you do need male and female to get edible nuts. I would imagine they'd have both here, but perhaps they've only got the one, in which case it might not fruit anyway. So far, well worth the €7. one of the strelitzias. Cape chestnut. Never heard of it. That's this one here. Can't see any fruits on it. Here, of course, we have a carob tree, Ceratonius liqua. This one is covered in flowers, unlike the ones down in Surinam. Menton definitely has, and obviously Menton definitely has a very favourable climate. On to zone 10. Caria. Substantial yuccas growing here. Right, let's pause the video again. Now we're entering what they call the forests tropical humid. Not so easy to size of that bamboo, just to give you some idea. At least as thick as my arm. Ugh, the mosquitoes are buzzing around me. Obviously going to try and eat me alive. If you loiter too long, you can guarantee the mosquitoes getting to you. Not everything is labelled, so you don't always know what some of these plants are. I don't know what this is. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that on the right hand side here we've got another avocado of some description. Of course, there's no way of knowing what they actually are. Just says Persia avocado, and this is growing in a really shady area, and actually it's got no fruits on it at all that I can see. Just says Persia americana, but I can't see a single fruit on it, as opposed to one that was out in the sun.
Not seen that is why, because our flare is taking it off. Ah, that is better. Thanks. We do that. Put filters on your photos and video and how it.
Okay, let's pause again. Just a quick look at another one of these bamboo families. It's quite a maze round here, this place actually. There are various citrus interspersed amongst the other plants. Don't always look as if they're growing particularly well. Might be because it's a bit too, it might be a bit too shady, to be honest. Heading towards zone 15 now. More citrus. Clementina, so it's a clementine. It's actually got a few flowers on it higher up. I see they've got those little yellow traps hanging in the trees. This may or may not be a clementine next to it. They haven't labelled that one separately. All the way down here there's citrus. Plenty of fruits on them there, which you probably can't see very well. What's this? Carica. Good God. actually says Carica quercifolia. That's the oak-leafed papaya. I'm a bit surprised. It doesn't look as if it's got oak-shaped leaves, but it's certainly got fruits on it. But they're ripe fruits up there, but they only get to about. Well, here was ripe fruits here. They only get to about an inch. Very, very small. I can't see any point in growing those. I don't suppose they're even edible. I'll give you a better idea of the size of the tree there. It looks nothing like the papayas I'm used to. Look at the size of that stump. That's nearly 2 feet across, and it goes up. If anybody thinks you can grow a small one, that grows up around, that's 25 feet at least tall there. More citrus along here. Beautiful if you love your flowering plants. Yeah, this really is a wonderful botanic garden. Might have been a bit of a nightmare to live here though, walking up and down all these terraces back in the day, but it's fine for wandering around as a keen botanist. Yet another brugmansia. That's one thing that grows very well in the Mediterranean. Well, I've switched to white flowers now, and they've got a lovely perfume. Some very unusual plants here that I'm not familiar with at all. Another bamboo forest, another variety this one. This is obviously a green stemmed one, although it looks like the older stems might turn brown. Very fast growing these are, can be invasive if you get the wrong ones. I do know they're meant to have a tropical fruit section or tropical fruit plant section here, so hopefully we'll get to that in a while and be able to see what there actually is. It says 17 up there, but I want to quick walk around this section first because I want to try and see what this is. Fortunella, so that's another kumquat. Pretty sure, I don't know if we're supposed to walk through here, but it's got a label on it. I'm just going to walk through here because I'm pretty sure this, there we are, it's an Asamina triloba. This is a pawpaw here. This is really growing as an understory plant. Let's go back to the outside so I can show you the outside of it. Oops. Let's just get up here a minute. Here we are. I should have recognised the leaves. One Asamina. No sign of any fruits at all, which makes me think it's the only plant here and it's not self-fertile perhaps. Still interesting to see it growing. So from that little mysterious hidden grotto, we're now out into the plant Aquatic zone, where you can see incredibly outside here they've got those I think it's Victoriana Amazonica, is it? The one that produced those huge floating leaves, and those are I think lotus lilies, and I wonder if people like to try and grow them in buckets outside in their place. Absolutely fantastic. So let's have a walk around and see what we can find. Xanthoxerus. More citrus. That's this Citrus myrtifolia, so that's Kinoto. More Brugmansias. The false capoc. This is the one that has those sort of spines that go up the stem. You might just be able to see on my camera, but it's got covered in lovely pink flowers up there. There's also white areas, I'm not sure what they are unless it's two different trees there. Dongbei, I don't even know what that is. I thought I'm quite knowledgeable on my tropical plants, but some that I'm not familiar with. I don't even know where these stairs go. Let's walk up here and see. This looks like a little circular area here to walk around. Oh yes. Somewhat surprised by the lack of passion flowers here. Lots of solanums growing, but I thought they might have had a few passion fruit designs. I'm not talking too much because I don't always know what things are unless I read the labels, and anyway I think people prefer to just look sometimes. Sure glad they don't have any snakes as far as I know up in this area here. Malpigia glabra. Sounds familiar. That is a fruiting tree, you know. I'll have to look up and just check what that is. Oh, acerola. That explains it. There we are. Malpigia glabra. And it has indeed got fruits on it, although they're not quite the shape I expected them to be. I didn't think they'd be quite that oval. Not ripe, unfortunately, but it is nice to see fruits on it. So I can see I've finally seen my first genuine tropical fruit here that I consider as a tropical fruit. Hope I can keep my one alive. There may be some other tropical fruit plants hidden among here that I don't even know the Latin names of, or didn't spot because they're hidden away. And of course, if they're not in fruit or flower, you can't always see. You can't always see what there is here. Mimosa. Casuarina. Ziziphus. Now this is a Ziziphus, but it's not the Chinese one. This is Ziziphus Miclay or Miclay, and you can see, you might be able to see, it's got some very small olive shaped or sized fruits on it. No idea if they're edible or not. I mean, they're out of range anyway. And this looks... no, not familiar with that plant. Got what looks like another feijoa here. Yeah, another feijoa. It's also got fruits on it, not quite as big as the other ones. Let's give you a closer look at the fabulous water that is here. There are goldfish in the ponds. That's sheer paradise for them. Papyrus growing here. Wonderful water. There's only we could grow lotus in the UK outside in a pond, but that's definitely not a possibility. See what this interesting looking tree is over here. Don't recognise it. Panax echinops. No.
यहाँ पे ना हम ये ले सकते हैं.
Bocania ricovata. Bottle palm, that one I'm familiar with. These alocasias like being by the water. Look at the colour of those lotus. Fantastic. There's a huge suppressus here, cupressus. Just going to give you a quick look. There's a bit of a citrus grove there, which you can't really see very easily from below, but look at that, it's absolutely covered in citrus, which is what I'd expect to see here. It's what I would expect to see here in the Mediterranean, of course. I'll walk over there in a minute once these people have come up the steps. A little bit closer now. I'll get down before more people come up. Yeah, oranges galore. A retour. So going back past the Asamina again, back past the kumquat. Okay, so we're now going below the citrus trees. I don't know bother labelling what they are here. Probably no need. They mostly look like oranges to me, or versions of them. Not always easy in this light to film everything. I can't see some of the labels. That one there's a label up there says Eugenia. You walk on the garden here while no one's around. Ah, it's a subsidium. So, oh, it's a strawberry guava tucked away. Oh yes, covered in fruit. It's tucked away at the back here, which means I couldn't see it properly. And next to it is an Annona. I don't know why they've tucked all these fruit trees away where you can't get to the labels to see what they are. It's very frustrating. And there are fruits on the Annona. I can see fruits on the custard apple, which is interesting. Definitely fruits on the strawberry guava. And this Eugenia is uniflora. Okay, so this is a Surinam cherry. Yeah, frustrating you can't get to them. They've put all the tropical fruit plants frustratingly just out of reach to actually look at the labels. I was hoping there might have been a white sapote here, but I can't see one at the moment. That citrus up there you won't be able to see is a citrus hystrix. Do you know there at the back, it's very frustrating, I can't get to it. That one there, if I zoom in, it actually looks like it might be a lychee or a longan. And here is a finger lime. I can't even see a label in front of what I think might be a lychee or longan, so perhaps they don't know themselves, but it does look like it next to me. But I said next to it is a kaffir lime, citrus hystrix, and that is quite a substantial custard apple up there. It'll be a cherry moya for sure, so that does well here. You need telescopic eyesight to see what some of these plants are when they've planted them so far off the path. Still, Raphiolepis umbellata has some fruits on it. Not familiar with them, probably not edible, certainly not going to risk it. And that one there, not a single fruit on the Surinam cherry, amazingly, but there are some on the strawberry guava. It's also got some snap branches, unfortunately, so those fruits aren't going to ripen. Hidden up there is another tamarillo. It's actually got some ripe fruits on that one. That's an orange one. Nice to see ripe fruits on it. They're not very long-lived, these tamarillos. As I said, they don't label everything here, so it's not always to know what they are. Pleased to see cherry moya is actually fruiting here though. This is another orange or mandarin. I think there's meant to be a Buddha's lime round here, but I haven't seen it. As I said, it's not always easy to see the plants from the path, they're just too far away. So here's the Citrus medica, or Buddha's hands, or Buddha's fingers. It's got fruit on it right down there. Don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, it's not easy to zoom in on. This is obviously a little citrus collection along here. Being eaten alive for mosquitoes. Patagonula, whatever that may be. Oh, I know this one. That's a narangilla. Solanum kitawense. And interestingly, this is a non-spiny one. Now, I had the spiny ones and they were absolutely dreadful, so I didn't bother looking after it in winter, and this is a non-spiny one. It's actually got edible fruits on it. And we've got a papaya doing quite well here. And these down here look like Cape gooseberries. What's this? Carrier. Okay, so plants to pecan. It's a very small plant. No label on this tree here, whatever it may be. Perhaps I don't know what it is. I think this is their little exotic fruit growing area. Nope, don't know what that one is. They haven't got some of these labelled. I'm guessing they don't know what they are either. Persea, Okay, there's another avocado. Persea indica. Another member of the avocado family, that's a large one. Always easy to work out where the paths go here. Well, I still haven't seen a white sapote. I'm quite surprised there's not one here, to be honest. Let's have a little walk down this path here. Keep moving so again so I don't get savaged too much by the mosquitoes. Don't know what this is. Kind of looks like it might be a member of the Persea family, but or maybe a magnolia, but there's nothing on it. No name on it. What have we got here? Aquatic, never heard of it. There's another citrus here, that's a myrtifolia. The citrus of Menton down here. Well known here for growing citrus, of course, Menton. Plenty more citrus down here. Doing something here biological. Not going to bother trying to translate it. Again, it's another area where there are loads of mosquitoes and they must find me particularly tasty. So I'm going to head off at pace. Ooh. Just tripping there. Let's give you a good laugh. It's a bit hazardous round here in places. Right, let's now interesting, it says here tropical, so maybe there are some more tropical fruits here. Okay, there seems to be a bit of a shortage of labels on some of the stuff, so perhaps they don't know what they've got themselves. It's almost a trouble with identifying tropical fruit plants. Well, don't think I'd call a citrus particularly tropical fruited. Finally, I've found what looks like an extremely sickly, yeah, this is a white sapote and it's got fruits on it. Very, very few fruits, just one or two. I mean, it's growing in full shade here, which is madness. Not the ideal position. It's covered in mould on the leaves. Covered in mould on the leaves, which suggests to me, botrytis, which suggests to me it's too damp, not enough sun, probably got scad insect on it, but it has got some fruits, and that's tucked in next to another citrus. I'm glad I found a white sapote, and that's the avocado we saw earlier when I was walking in. It's covered in avocados. Persea americana, that's a decent sized tree, that one. Tree tomatoes there. Let's just walk along the front here a little bit. Going underneath the kiwi we saw earlier. Eugenia, guabiju. Okay, so that's a guabiju. That does produce edible fruits, but again, like the other botanic gardens I went to, no sign of any fruits on it at all. Maybe the wrong time of year, maybe it needs pollinating. Tetrapanax, that's not a fruiting plant as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to walk up this path here because I just want to go back and have a look and see if I can see the top of what I thought was a lychee or longan. Just to see if it's recognisable at all. No, we're going to carry on along this bit and then I'll come back along the top afterwards. Ah, there is possibly, might be a white sapote, although we're not particularly near the plant. Might be something else fruiting, not sure. Well, we're nowhere near the white sapote, so there must be something else here that produces a fruit, even if it isn't edible. Right, let's carry on walking up here. Just as well I recognise the white sapote because they haven't got it labelled anyway. Typically enough. There's a few avocado seedlings on the ground here, so I'm guessing that some of them have managed to drop and produce seedlings. Yeah, look, there's an avocado there. Or remains of avocado stones on the floor, so it's definitely producing and dropping avocados. Right, let's pause the video again. Just out of interest to people, I've just come back round to the other side. There's no labels on it, but I'm sure that is a lychee or longan. That's next to the big cherimoya. Unfortunately there's no label on it, so I said perhaps I don't know what it is. There's no fruits on it, but it's growing very nicely here anyway. So they found a nice little sheltered area. We used to be able to walk down this bit here with a little bit of bamboo on it. Again, that's the back of the Surinam cherry, and that is beneath it is a strawberry guava, too overgrown, and that's our custard apple or Annona. It's definitely got fruits on it. I can see them about 2 inches across, much bigger than mine in the UK. And that is pretty much the tour of the garden. I was fascinated by this gigantic oak leaf papaya, but now I've seen that the fruits are literally about 3/4 of an inch long. I can't see the point growing it, to be honest. Back past another pineapple guava in full fruit. Well, that concludes my tour of the botanical gardens. I hope that was of interest to anybody. If you're ever down the south of France, you come to Menton, it's well worth a visit for the €7 or so, and you'll probably find some plants that I didn't spot here, perhaps some nuts or other tropical fruit plants. Oh, anyway, thank you for watching. Please share the video if you think it'd be useful. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. And click on the bell if you'd like updates on new videos. When they come out. Brett out for now.